Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has got a finger on the pulse and an eye on the streets. And every day on this segment, I do my best to bring you trending stories that are shaping the world that we live in. We begin today with some sturdy politics. It was celebration mode in Benin City as Edo State Governor Monday Okpewolo and his aides broke into song and dance after the Supreme Court affirmed his victory in the September 2024 governorship election. The Apex Court on July 10th dismissed the petition filed by PDP candidate Asue Godalo, who challenged the election results, alleging irregularities and electoral malpractice. But the court has ruled that the case lacked merit, seeking Okpewolo's mandate. In a viral clip that's now trending online, the governor is seen dancing joyfully in his office alongside his aides and thanking God for the outcome and the verdict. Now, this moment, while very light-hearted, also drew attention online. Some people were amused by him and others were critical. Very interesting. I think that we always chalk it up to God when we win elections, not taking into account the politics that we did on the ground. Very interesting. Moving on in some more politics. As the newly coalesced African Democratic Congress begins to shape Nigeria's evolving political landscape, one of its most prominent figures, Peter Obi, is once again at the center of public attention. A now viral video shows the former presidential candidate personally serving food to guests at an event, sparking, of course, a mixed bag of reactions online. While some Nigerians hail the gesture as a reflection of genuine humility and people-focused leadership, others were quick to question his motive. They called it performative and accused him of attempting to stir public sentiment ahead of possible political ambitions. As political realignments continue and Nigerians brace for the 2027 election cycle, every move, especially by key players like Obi, is being watched, analyzed, and as this video shows us, scrutinized. A lot of people were saying that this is just for optics. I think for Peter Obi, this is symbolic. Undeniably, we live in a country where a lot of leaders expect to be served as opposed to serve. And I think this was him saying, I'm ready to serve the people. But what do I know? Let's take a look at social media. Dean Hahn says, is all these high service needed? Masses will vote you if they think you would do better, but trying to win them over through cheap services will not help. We'll take one more social media submission. Chief Ochendo One says, this should be a life of a politician, life of service. A leader must be ready to serve his people when needed and necessary. Peter Obi is a very good example for any young politician. Indeed, in order to lead, we must first serve. Moving on in a more somber development, if you will. The heartbreaking death of Ajana Isabella, a law student at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, has sparked national outrage and questions of if Nigerians possess empathy. Chioma was a young woman who lived with chronic diabetes, and she reportedly died earlier this week after being locked out of her room, unable to access her life-saving insulin. Her door had jammed, but when she asked the hostel staff at Elmada Hostel for help, they allegedly refused to open it unless she paid a steep fee, despite knowing that it was a medical emergency. Instead of empathy, Chioma was reportedly blamed for being careless, and for 3 days she was left without her medication. Her health, of course, quickly declined, and by the time she was rushed to the hospital, it was a little too late. She died just days before heading to law school, and her death has left the UNIZIK community in mourning and set off a firestorm on social media, with many calling for accountability and reforms in hostel management across Nigerian universities. This story makes me very sad because the other day we saw lots of law students who had graduated and were being called to bar. I often think, had she planned her law school photo shoot? Did she even know if she wanted to practice at all or specialize in any particular area of law? I can imagine that family members of her were already excited to watch her being called to bar. And because somebody somewhere wanted to follow protocol over empathy, she has now lost her life. Our condolences go out to her family. This is so sad. May her soul rest in peace. Let's take a look at social media. Beautiful young woman gone too soon. Oba says, a student didn't die because of diabetes. She died because of negligence dressed as policy, because some cold-blooded staff valued a spare key fee over a human life. UNIZIK lost a future lawyer. Her family lost a daughter. Nigeria lost someone because a hostel decided that bureaucracy was more important than compassion. We'll take one more tweet. Leon says, everything is not protocol and policy. Sometimes you bend these things to save human lives. Absolutely, we do see a pattern where some Nigerians are graced with a little power, security men, staff, and they want to lord it over you. And oftentimes it lacks empathy or even merit. Team, what do you make of this? This is indeed a child gone too soon.
Yeah, it is said that if you want to know the true character of a person, give the person money or power. You know, and both of these elements played in this story. So very unfortunate. So the gentleman or lady that was asking for a fee before he or she opens the door, how is he or she feeling right now that Chioma had lost her life? It is a very, very sad story. We are human beings. We are not perfect. All of us forget our keys home. We forget very important things at home. And I don't want to mention how many times that happens in a year. For somebody to put money, bureaucracy, and all that over the health of a full human being is completely... Look, let's leave that one and move on. Peter Obi serving food in an event. Yeah, Peter Obi, we have seen so many of this kind of things going on amongst the political class. We've seen some doing, dressing somebody's hair in a hairdressing salon. We've seen them ride Okada, commercial Okada riders and so on. It is for the optics. It is for the optics. But Peter Obi, over time, has sort of convinced a lot of Nigerians that he will be more of a servant than a boss.
Okay, so I'll start with Chioma's story because Olamide, when I saw it online yesterday, I actually shared a tear. Because I know people that have diabetes, people close to me that have diabetes, and I know how important it is for her to have gotten her drugs. But then we ask questions that where is our human love? I just really pray that the person that demanded money, I feel like that person should be arrested, first of all, because in one way or the other, he played a key role in her death. And look at this young girl, beautiful, intelligent. She's gone just because of negligence, and I'll add wickedness, because there was no reason he could have given her that key and just after it still collect money. I just want to tell people, where is our human love? In as much as the money is important, we also need to look at the human life, because no amount of money can bring back a human life. Because right now, even if her parents give you all that money, she's dead. She cannot come back. So let's stop putting money first. Let's put lives first. And after we deal with that, we can now talk about money. So please, the person that did this, I really pray and hope that at least they take him to prison or something, just so that he can learn, so that next time he understands that human life is more valuable than money. Now, moving on to the Peter Obi story. Olamide, this is not for me. Allegedly, I read a comment that said, wow, no, it's not for me, Olamide. You wouldn't put me in trouble on this show. I read a comment on social media that said, you know, while he was governor of Anambra, did he do this? While he was sitting governor, did he serve food? You know, we've seen a lot of things when it comes to politicians. That's why this is looking funny. And if you see the comments on social media, everybody's like, Oga rest, you too do. And I found it a little bit, you know, it just really didn't look, it didn't really sit well with me. And that's my opinion, you know, not everybody's opinion, but it didn't really sit well with me, him serving the food. But Ibrahim.
Yeah, it actually doesn't make any sense to me as well. And this is not a social media comment. This is what I think. Because one thing is, I feel like, you know, is it within his right to feel, yeah, let me do some things. Let me make it symbolic for people to see that if I'm at the aim of affairs, I would serve the people. So let me make it symbolic by serving them. It's normal that people would do that. We saw Donald Trump, you know, is it serving or selling snacks, McDonald's to, you know, American citizens while he was running for president. We saw Ayodele Fayose back in the day eating corn. You know, some of these people doing all of these things. But do they do the same thing? Do they repeat it when they get into power? The question you asked, the person that tweeted, did Peter Obi do the same thing while he was governor? If he didn't do it, so what's the point? I don't understand. Why are you trying to, you know, make everyone feel like, yeah, you are the same person who will see sitting with Almajirai, you know, whining and dining with them just to show that, yes, I'm the man of the people, it's fine. At the same time, I could recall, you know, a call that came out, whether it denied or whether he admitted or denied it, I don't know, but, you know, somewhat pitting, you know, religions against themselves. You know, the kind of call that was made during the election, you know, saying that, Papa, this is a war that we have to fight. So I think we should not be too desperate. We should not just do your thing, say your thing, and let us see that you are honest in what you're doing. Because all of these things is becoming, I don't know, for the want of word, grandiose. It's even beyond the optics. It's somehow, it doesn't make sense to me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I like to call that the optics of politics. I'll take it. I'll take some more stories.